What's up, good peoples? Welcome to Hamilton Radio. I'm your host, Andre Williams. You can find us on hamiltonradio.net on the internet. You can also find us on the app at Hamilton Radio Channel 2 and on Facebook on Hamilton Radio. We have some very awesome information that we're going to be sharing with you guys tonight. Again, I am your host, Andre Williams, Sr. of Urban Economics and Development, where we discuss topics basically to encourage, support, and acknowledge some of the dreams and visions that you guys may be having for your lives. This is an awesome channel to tune into on Mondays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then again, we come back at you. That's every single week, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sometimes we start a little early, sometimes we start a little late, but one thing for sure is you'll be able to get some great information just by tuning in. And we definitely appreciate you guys. I am a real estate investor. I buy abandoned properties, foreclosed properties, bank-owned properties, and I rehab them. I own a construction company as well. We've been in business for about 20 years. So we take these abandoned properties, we rehabilitate them, help them get them back on the tax books. And then we try to sell them to families. In the beginning, when I first started, we used to take these abandoned properties and rent them out. And just to get them back on the tax books, we work with the municipalities because we all know that so many different things are affected by basically low to moderate income areas. When you have missing taxes, it affects the public schools, it affects after school programs, public libraries, the pools, the community centers, so many different other programs that the municipalities would like to provide to the areas. When the budget is low, they simply can't afford to do it. So we worked in conjunction with them and other investors and people in the community now try to provide affordable housing is one of the other ways that we take these properties and get them in the hands of potential new homeowners. Also, outside of the construction company, we also have a nonprofit organization, which is a nonprofit 501c3, a community service organization. It's called One Heaven, Inc. We've been in business for now close to 20 years as well. Now, the community service organization, we provide a whole bunch of different community-oriented programs for the entire family. During the summers, we do summer camps. We do after-school programs. We also provide food to families every month with the food bank that we are partners with Princeton Deliverance Center and Whole Foods and a bunch of other cool organizations. Just to help supplement some of the groceries and resources like that to the families in the community. That's really important. Also, we do, in conjunction with our construction company, it's a construction training program, teaching 12 weeks out of the year the construction trade to different individuals that it's about 15 individuals actually that want to learn a trade, that want to learn how to build and how to construct and a little bit about carpentry. And we teach them a little bit about masonry and roofing and other different trades within the construction trade itself. And sometimes we end up hiring guys right out of our construction training program. We get grants for it from the city of Trenton and a couple other organizations that partner up with us to provide this job training. Now we are in the process of doing a construction trade school called Fresh Start Training Academy, where we're also offering this trade, but it's in a curriculum setting, a school setting, and it's a 3-month course that we're putting. It's already put together, but we're in the process of getting it registered with the state of New Jersey, and we're working with the city of Trenton on a location as we speak. So you can look forward to that coming in the near future. What's up, Rob? How you doing, man?
Hey, bro.
Give it up for Robert Rufus. Can you hear him, Ruben? He'll get you tapped.
Okay,
in.
I got it.
There you go. How you
What's
doing?
up, brother?
Oh man, I'm great, man. Man. Got a little rain outside.
Yeah, we got a little rain with the
we
sun.
need it. Yeah,
the sun
man.
is out too. So.
Yeah. We used to call those sun showers.
Sunshine.
Yeah, kids used to get happy when it started raining and that sun came out. That meant it's time to go
It's
back
time to
outside
go back
and play.
Doc. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir. So, Dre, can you explain about your the school that you're going to open up? Like, how can people get involved or details?
Yeah. With the construction trade school, it's called Fresh Start Training Academy. The reason we put this together is because it's, in the communities, the urban areas, there's so many abandoned properties. And I found myself hiring individuals that wasn't experienced in the trade, but they would tell me that they were. And when I hired them, I'll send them on a job site, and
Right.
they'll start working with my guys, and my guys end up like Dre, like
doing double time.
these guys don't know what they're doing,
Right,
man. Like,
right.
why you hiring these
Right.
guys that don't know what they're doing?
That's
I
slowing
said,
the process down.
Yeah,
right?
man. So I said, you know what? Let me put something together to where we can train these individuals, and then once we train them, we'll be able to employ them.
Right.
And give them a trade, you know what I mean? Give them
That's
some
powerful.
tools, give them some legs to stand on, and that's what we ended up doing, man.
Teach them how to fish.
Yeah, man, teach a man to
Instead of,
fish, and that's actually one of
they can
our
eat.
slogans for Bass Contracting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man.
there's a lot of talented people out there that just need that that teaching. They know they can do it. They did it like offhand, but like just
Mm-hmm.
that good, solid theory of the construction and how
Right.
to,
Well,
measure and
Right.
make sure the measurements is right. So you have to double going back because
Right.
that's also big in construction.
It is. Measure twice, cut once, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's one of our slogans.
Yeah.
So, but the beautiful thing about the trade is it goes far. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you could take these trades and go anywhere in
You
this
get
world.
anywhere in the world. Yep.
And secure
Anywhere.
a job. People
Anywhere.
are always going to need a place to live.
Yeah.
People are always going to need a place to set their business up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it has to be in some type of construct, some
Mm-hmm.
type of building. And if you can provide the carpentry skills, the
Mm-hmm.
plumbing skills, the electrical skills, the HVAC skills,
Mm-hmm.
painting, flooring, roofing, you know what I mean? Like it goes hand in hand, especially with, society. I always tell when we do these speaking engagements, always, tell the individuals that I'm speaking to that, no matter where you go, people are going to always need a place to live.
Right.
And the other piece too is that when you're dealing with housing, if you are in a position to own some property, you're it's the oldest profession in the world. No other industry has birthed more millionaires than the
Right.
construction trade.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, when you look at it, that was one of the reasons I said, let me help change people's perception about the real estate industry because, they look at it and say, I don't have enough money to do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And years ago, I would have settled for that excuse not to get in. But if you're paying rent, you can afford to get in.
Right.
And that's what made me look at things different. I said, hold up. You have people running around here paying more in rent than what it would actually cost for them to own a home, but they just don't know that they can't own one. It's like the information has been, not really kept from them, but it hasn't been taught to them.
Right.
So these platforms, along with many others that we have been blessed to be a part of. These platforms give people that information for free. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So whenever I come on, I mean, it would behoove you all to
Right.
get a pen and a pad.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Or put the information in your cell phone.
Right.
Because it's valuable information. I'm giving you something that from the grassroots, if you read my book, if you hear one of our platforms, you can turn around and become, a knowledgeable real estate investor.
Correct.
Not only do we teach the trade, but we teach real estate investment too. I have a few families that I've sat down with, like my good friends, the Collier family.
Yeah, that was a powerful podcast.
Yeah, man. And they simply invest in tax liens right now. Jermaine, which is one of my closest friends, one of our brothers, he's been doing real estate investment with me for at least the last 10 or 11 years. You know what I
He's
mean?
excited about it. It's
Yeah,
just
man.
like
So once he
opened
got a
his-
taste, it was like, man.
yeah.
And so we were discussing some of the concepts that we use, and he was like, listen, I'm going to talk to my family and get them to, do an investment. We're
That's
going to
powerful.
invest in real estate taxes. And it's interesting with the real estate tax investment, how that works. Basically, you buy a tax lien on a property, right? So if there's a property that you're interested in, it may be abandoned. You can go to the tax sale, which they have every year, at least once a year in each municipality. But you can get in touch with your local property tax collector and find out when the tax sale is going to be in your community. So what you do is once you register, you become a part of a mailing list, and they'll give you a list of properties that are going to go up for tax lien sale. So when you attend the tax sales, you'll have a chance to bid on paying for that particular quarter tax lien, right? So it may be one quarter. So say if you go in there with like $5,000, I'm gonna take this hat off. So if you go in there with about $5,000, you can literally walk out of there with about, 10 tax liens,
10 tax liens.
right?
Now the tax liens, I just for the plain person that really like.
Right. So how that
So-
works is this is a part of real estate investing where you're not touching the bricks and mortar.
Okay.
All it is literally paperwork, right?
Okay.
So if I buy a tax lien, so say we got every tax lien, you have to pay taxes every single quarter, right? So every tax sale that comes up, it may be a quarter or two behind. So if you go to that tax sale and you found a house that you were interested in, it may be abandoned or whatever, you buy that particular quarter. So that particular quarter may be $400 that the taxes weren't paid. So you pay the $400, they'll give you a tax sale certificate, and an 18% interest is attached to that particular tax lien. So that's where you make your money. Because it's like, all right, instead of sitting your money in a bank or in some institute that's only going to get less than 1%, or even if you have mutual funds, by the time the variables take place,
Right.
you're only going to earn maybe 6 or 7%
Right.
per year, maybe.
Right. Right.
And that's playing it safe, you know what I mean? So if you're buying a tax lien, you're actually earning 18% interest guaranteed, right?
From the city or that city.
No, the 18% interest is you're earning that from whoever owned that property.
So they got to pay 18%.
Right. So what happens is they'll get a letter saying, hey, your property
Has been bought.
has a tax lien against it at 18% interest. Mr. Robert Rufus purchased the tax lien, or if you're doing it under a company, which I suggest, forming an LLC, and then doing it as a business, not some people do it personally, but I suggest doing it as a business.
Right.
So now, they'll get a letter, they'll get your information. This is the person that has a tax lien on your property.
So you
if
pay
you would
them.
like to redeem it, give us a call and we'll let you know how much it is, because it accrues every single day
Wow.
at 18%.
Wow.
So in the beginning, that's 18% on 400 for that particular quarter.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Got
So 18% accrues every single day. So today it might be $418 or whatever. You know what I mean? But tomorrow is going to be another 18% on that 418.
Wow. Okay.
So every day that number is going to change. So the person that's paying it will have to call it's almost live all the time. So you'll have to actually call that day that you're going to pay it off and say, hey, what's the amount that I have to pay? And they'll tell you that amount for that particular day.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how the tax lien investors make their money, because, you know, they're basically not doing anything. They just pay for the tax lien and it's
Just let
making
it
money
sit.
for them.
Making
You know what I
money.
mean?
Wow.
Now, the other piece is, when I invested in tax liens, it was a particular property that I wanted the property. I didn't want the money.
Right.
The money was good, but I wanted the property because it held some childhood value to me.
Right.
So, you know, I bought the tax lien for that property, and I sat on it for like a year, and next thing I know, I get a check in the mail.
They wanted the property. They wanted it.
Well, the person that saw my tax lien, they got wind of it that I had a tax lien on the property, and, you know, they actually wanted to live in the property, so they ended up paying me. But I made like almost $2,000 profit
from just letting
on what I spent. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, you know, it was great that I made a great profit, but, you know, I really wanted the house. But when that happened, I'm going back almost about 15 years ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
I wanted the property, but that $2,000 profit, that was an awesome profit just for me spending a few $100.
Right.
I was like, man, I could teach this, because I like getting checks. You know what I mean?
Right.
One of my sayings is CTC, cut the check. You know what I
Doc.
mean? Cut the check, Doc. For
That's
real.
dope. That's
Baby need a new pair of shoes. Let me stop being silly. That's what the old folks used to say.
Come
Doc.
on.
Cut the
That's
check.
great though. It's like, and like people can do this and not even break sweat, or just like,
Hey man, you ain't gotta change no toilets.
No toilet.
You ain't gotta worry about no leaky
the water
roof.
heater roof.
Yeah, Doc. You ain't gotta worry about the furnace going.
Basically,
You ain't gotta collect no rent. Be knocking on folks' door, trying to take them to court.
You know, they answering the door. They see you in the door.
Hide from you like you the.
They like,
be quiet. Turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off.
Yeah,
Turn the
you
lights
ain't gotta
off.
worry about that.
I just seen the light go off.
Yeah.
Man. Y'all tell me y'all.
Like, listen, I hear y'all in there.
I hear you breathing.
Lil Ray, come open this door now. Stop playing. But
I hear you breathing.
Yeah, man.
But Dre, this could be, I know since we're like international, this could be done anywhere, right?
Anywhere
in the world.
Well, I don't know
different in the world,
what's the
but-
tax situation like in Africa or some other place,
Okay,
but
all
real
right.
estate investment in general can be done anywhere. The tax liens I know in the United States, you definitely can invest in any tax lien period in the United States, man, on a property and redeem an interest off of it. That's, you know, it's like I said, it's one of the oldest professions. It has birthed more millionaires than any other industry. Since the beginning of time, people always needed a place to live. If you were that one that provided houses, I don't care if you were in the desert or in Africa or whatever. If you was the one could build the hut,
right.
they were coming to you.
You got the whatever you needed.
Yeah, man. You needed shelter, they coming. They knocking on your door. One of the bartering systems that we used to talk about,
In Africa,
real estate was always a part of it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the first mandates, one of the first commandments that God said, let them have dominion over the earth. That means control the resources of the land. Right? So whether that was growing crops or producing paper or producing tables or producing whatever, you know what I mean? All of it came from what came out of the land.
and don't hoard it, share it.
Yeah, man.
And everything run smooth. Everything was smooth.
Right.
You know, it wasn't no. Everybody was taken care of because they had their gifts. Everybody had their gifts, so it was like, here I can do this.
Right. One family was known for agriculture, for growing crops,
then
for
you
being
had
farmers.
the building, so they gave you food.
Yeah, man.
While you built on their house and you did this, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a system
Yeah,
that
and another
is
family
needed.
was known as healers. But their resources for healing came from the earth,
Yeah,
right? So that's still falling right within the
Everybody
commandments,
worked
having
together.
having
Yeah.
dominion over the earth. So we use those resources to, to own a business, basically,
Yeah,
So that's just one of them, real estate tax lien investments. The other that I look at is where you're not really involved in the bricks and mortar part of it is wholesaling properties. I had an experience with wholesaling properties where I would contact different real estate investors, and I would buy properties off of families in the community, or I would buy bulk properties off of other investors that did only tax liens. So there was a gentleman that we got to know, me and Jermaine together. He would buy tax liens, and sometimes he would end up with the properties. And he never wanted the properties. He's an older guy. He never wanted to touch any of the properties. So what he would do is send us a list
Of what y'all want.
of all the foreclosed properties that he had. So he'll end up with maybe 30, 40 properties.
Wow.
And he'll say, Dre, listen, here go, 30 properties. Tell me which one you want.
Wow.
So I'll look at the list, and I'll look at the addresses, and I'll take like maybe 10 or 15 properties, 20 properties or whatever. So I'll take those 15 properties. I'll give him 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, something like that for each property. And then the ones that I wanted, I would keep, and then the ones that other investors would have liked, I would wholesale the properties to the other investors. So they'll still get a discount and, get a property at a great discount.
And still, no changing, no pipes, no.
No, nothing.
Still not getting in there, digging in. And, okay.
This is straight wholesaling.
Straight
So if a person
wholesaling.
wanted to be just a wholesaler, see, I always wanted the property. So that was my
your vision.
That was
your
my
passion.
vision, because I said I can provide jobs, I can provide housing, I can
Right,
provide,
right.
Opportunities for people that wouldn't necessarily be able to invest. You know what I mean? Let me get them in. Let me teach them the strategies.
Right.
But for someone that just wanted to wholesale, like I got buddies that just do wholesaling.
Yeah.
I mean, they stay clean all week. You know what I mean? They never got dirt on them. They probably don't even know what some of these houses look like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just-
One of my boys, he like, Dre, I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. I never seen this property. I called him up like, what you got, man? Doc, I got this address, and he just reading off addresses. Never looked at the property, don't know what, you know what I mean?
Right.
All he knows is what's on the paper.
Was it-
And he say, look, give me 5,000 or give me 7 or give me
Wow.
whatever. And, that's the industry that you can be involved in, just wholesaling, totally separate from flipping, you know what I mean? Because I touch on a lot of different real estate investments, but the wholesaling is one that is, it's pretty clean cut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a list, you get a list of properties, either from, like I did, I collected them from tax lien investors. Also families that wanted to just sell the properties that were in distress, you know what I mean? Everybody know now that I'm involved in real estate in our community, everybody be like, yo, if you need a rental property or if you need this, call Dre. So I
Right.
get a lot of calls for different things.
Wow.
So now, if someone want to get involved with just wholesaling, that's an untapped
Powerful.
industry.
Yeah, that's powerful. Right
That,
there.
it's only a few leaders in that industry, you know what I mean?
You don't have to-
Especially in our area, but there's room for everybody. Like I said, it's over 8,000 abandoned houses in Trenton. I mean, and that's just the city of Trenton alone. We got Camden, we got, Philadelphia, we got Irvington, we got Patterson, we got, so many urban areas just in New Jersey alone, which makes it a great place to live. You know what I mean? The Garden State, you have definitely some beautiful sites here. So if you're
Definitely.
leaving a state because it's too expensive or whatever, they say, Jersey is expensive as far as taxes. That's not really true, because I just explained to you how, I went to a tax lien investment sell, and I'm paying, some of my properties I pay less than $2,000 a year in property taxes on. You know what I mean? So that's not expensive. You know what I mean? Of course, if you want to be in like a Princeton, your property taxes will cost more because of the area, but it's not that many houses available for sale in those areas because
everybody's
they don't suffer from abandoned properties or anything like that. Not really. But in New Jersey alone, it's an untapped market when it comes to owning land. The whole country is untapped when it comes to owning land. You know what I mean? Like most people look at it and just want to buy a house.
Right.
Let's change our perception. What if we buy 40 acres or 50 acres or 60 acres? What if we go and buy 80 acres or 100 acres? Like, it changes things now. You know what I mean? Most people are just buying houses because that's what they can handle. But when you partner up with builders, general contractors, now you can look at buying land. And now you can leave a real legacy behind because that changes the perception of, what you previously thought you were capable of doing.
Mindset.
Like it opens up your capacity to do even more.
Right.
And I always tell people, man, we were put here for a purpose,
Right.
For a reason. And sometimes, we weren't taught that, so it kind of get
feels foreign.
overlooked
Yeah.
because we settle for
Just
for
going
less.
every day.
You know what I mean? Because of the pressures of society, the pressures of the culture, some of the things that we were taught, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. And when you hear that enough, you get programmed into thinking, I can't do it. I'm limited. Not to sound like a preacher, but how many of y'all know we serve an unlimited, a limitless?
Come on, put your hands together.
Yeah, I mean,
come on. I hear you. Come on in Russia. Put your hands together.
It's limitless.
Right.
There's nothing that we can't do, man.
And
it's really just a matter of coming together and being taught that.
And humble yourself to say, you know what? I want to change. I want to do something different.
Right.
So I got to humble myself and just
learn
it.
It's information.
It's information.
Yeah.
A lot of one of my books is like one of the books I read saying like a lot of people, not to talk about middle class or whatever, but middle class think they learned everything in school, and the rich always keep learning, and that's big because when you stop learning, you can't grow. Like everything, God created everything to grow. So why not keep growing?
God's system is everything that He created, it had a seed inside of itself.
Yeah.
So he don't have to tell the grass keep growing or come back and plant new grass seeds. It had a seed inside of itself where it would reproduce.
Yeah.
And we are the only ones that, we don't reproduce in our purpose.
Right.
We'll reproduce children.
Right.
But, if you follow, a dumb kid home, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, you're going to find some dumb parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
So if we learn as much as we can, and now we're reproducing that information, that knowledge, that wisdom into our children. One of the scriptures that I live by is, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. I live by that because it changed my life. When I saw that, I said, wow, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children? You're talking about my unborn grandchildren? Like, I have to do enough in my lifetime to even think about them before they even get here?
And a lot of that, too, Dre, is information.
Right, and that's really it is. That's
because because sometimes you could leave the money for them and they squander.
When you think of inheritance, it's not just money.
Just money.
It's
learning,
a religion. You're teaching them finance indirectly or directly. If you're bad with money, guess what? Your children's going to be bad with money. Right? But if you're good with money and you're managing your resources and you're taking care of this, guess what? That same kid, if you're teaching them how to balance a checkbook, if you're teaching them about credit before it's time for them to get credit, you know what I mean? Guess what? These kids are going to grow up being very responsible and very accountable and very successful because that's what you're pushing.
That's their heritage.
Yeah. One of the things that I do with my kids, and we talk about it all the time, during the week, we have to unplug. You know what I'm saying? So during the week, we're not doing video games. We're not doing, all kind of TV. We don't do TV, none of that stuff in my home during the week because I don't want for those different outlets to program the way of thinking. I want to be responsible for that. So it's my job to sit them down and to teach them. It's my job to show them in fun ways about money and managing resources and stuff like that. And you know, I have little entrepreneurs running around in my house, man, little geniuses, man.
Yep.
And it's normal for them because that's all I speak to them.
Right.
They're taking a test this week called the Park Test, and they took last week, and every day they're like coming home like, yeah, I aced that. You know what I mean? Oh, I knocked that out. I did great on that. And sometimes in the morning I'll say something to them like, hey, you ready? You know what I mean? And they're like, Dad, I'm ready. You know what I mean? Because that's the life I speak to them. I'm like, man, that's
awesome.
easy, Abram. You know what I mean? That's easy, that's easy, Andre. But when I speak that into them, they believe it.
Right.
And now that they believe it, the actions show it because I'm not just telling them to come home and I'm throwing them in front of the TV and let the TV mess their head up. No, I'm saying let's be engaged.
Right.
Let's unplug from all the what do you call them, apps and different outlets on the internet
iPads.
that will mess your head up. Let's unplug from that. Let's unplug from all these crazy TV shows. Let's unplug, but let's feed our brain while we're unplugging.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's learn something while we're unplugging. So we spend a lot of time at Barnes and Nobles and other bookstores. So it's not, instead of having them on Facebook, we actually put our face in a book. For real.
Put your face in the book.
Even write books. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got questions on there, Doc? Somebody got questions?
I got a lot of people saying, what's up, Cuzzo Kaniz White, I see you, man. Kim Randall, hi, baby. Rich, what's up, man? Andrea, I see you. Miss Sheila, thanks for tuning in. Marte King, my brother, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. Some few more on here. If I don't get to you, it's not on purpose. Big Unc, what up, Unc? I see you. Uncle Marv. But, yeah, man, so we just want to continue to feed our people, man. Definitely pick up a copy of my book, Everybody is a Real Estate Investor. Yes, even you. I just talked about 2 of the strategies. There's so many more strategies that I teach in this book. You can actually find it on Amazon. You can Google it.
Kindle.
Everybody is a Real Estate Investor.
Kindle. I got it off of Kindle. So
you got the Kindle?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy it on Kindle, Kindle Publishing. That's one of the outlets that we use to get the book out there as well. And then you could contact me as well. I'll give away a couple copies tonight. So if you definitely want a copy of the book and you're in the vicinity, I can get it to you. We can even mail it out to you. So just send us your information, and we'll get a copy of the book to you. I'll give away 2 free copies tonight. Just send me a message saying, Andre, I want a free copy. So, yeah, some good information. Ooh.
Sorry.
I don't know what
Sorry
that
about
was.
that. That was me.
I'm not something coming through the walls on us, Doc.
Sorry about that, everybody. Don't get scared. It's the iPad.
Yeah. So anyway, we talked about wholesaling properties, which is a way people can get involved with real estate and never have to touch bricks and mortar, part of the business. We also talked about buying real estate tax liens, which is a very, very lucrative way to invest in real estate, and you never have to get dirty. You don't have to go to no construction sites or get no loans. You can actually do both of these types without even spending much money at all, especially with the wholesaling. You're not spending anything on wholesaling. That's you just being resourceful and being the plug. Okay, Kim Randall, I'll get you a copy, baby. Send me inbox me your address and I'll send you a copy of the book. Thanks a lot. So yeah, with the real estate wholesaling, you don't even have to spend your own money. You're just really connecting your motivated seller with some great investors. And how I initially started finding the motivated sellers, I used to go to the tax lien sales, and it was a whole lot of investors there like myself, but they were just buying tax liens. So we differ because I didn't mind putting my foot, to the road and,
Right.
and actually investing and doing the work too. That was one of the reasons I got involved, because I wanted to play Monopoly in real life. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's what I did. But in doing that, I found out who a lot of the tax lien guys were, and they sell all kind of properties, because most of the time, like I said, they don't want the property, they just want the tax lien, 18% interest. That's what they wanted. And then I would go to some of the auctions. I would find out when the auctions were, and I would attend the auctions, and I would hand out my business card, because you knew that these guys at the auctions were motivated buyers. So now you have a list of motivated sellers and a list of motivated buyers. You found the property, you wholesale to these guys that were buyers, and you make a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. I know some wholesale guys that make a $10,000 profit just by being the middleman, just by saying, hey, I found the property under market value, it may need this amount of work, and these guys are real, skilled at what they do. They start putting a list together of all the repairs that were needed. They would even introduce you to contractors, to help you get the work done. So they would put a scope of work together for you and hand you this house with a scope of work and all the, work that had to be done, and your profit margin would be, included. So these guys got really good at wholesaling. You don't have to do all that. You could just, get in and do your wholesaling, match up the motivated seller with the motivated buyer, and make you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 profits just by being the middleman.
In one day.
Some people don't have time to look up properties.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they'll hire an agent. And that's essentially what a real estate agent, they make their money by matching up a seller and a buyer. It's just, now for wholesaling, you don't need a real estate license to be a wholesaler. Anybody can do that. You know what I mean? I ended up getting my real estate license about 16 years ago, because I wanted to learn the industry itself. Once I got in, I said, man, I want to learn as much as I can. I want to learn how to recognize deals, and
Wow.
I want to learn. So I ended up getting my real estate license. I got my general construction license. I got my adjuster's license. And I just kept learning and learning and learning, and I got a whole bunch of other certificates, from mold remediation and
Right.
lead paint certifications, and
Nice.
OSHA 30 certifications.
That's
OSHA,
good
like
to have.
I just would get them just because I wanted to have the knowledge of it.
But
And some of the
also-
places that I would go,
Right. You need it.
require it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I
if
think-
you're going to come in this area doing this kind of work, they want to make sure
wanna
that you
you're
were
certified.
qualified.
Yeah.
So, I ended up doing, a lot of that, and I still learn every single day, because I just love real estate investment, you know what I mean?
That's
And,
great, bro.
I want to leave a great mark on this world, you know what I mean? I want
Leave it
that
in.
dash between my start date and my end date to have something written in there, Doc. It ain't just going to be no dash, you know what I mean? You want to leave here and jokers be like, yeah, you remember Andre? They don't know where you buried at or nothing, but just your name alone be like, oh
Andre,
my God,
yeah.
that joker? You
Yeah.
remember Rob?
Yeah,
Remember them shows Rob used to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some of the places he took us, and you want people to have something to remember you by. So
Right.
leave a mark, whatever your gifts are.
Yeah.
I just say include real estate, because you're going to be paying either somebody rent or you're going to be buying a house from
house,
somebody.
yeah,
So
definitely.
why not get involved?
And that's everywhere.
Everywhere, no matter where you go. You live in somebody's
Everywhere.
house right now. It's either your house or you're paying somebody rent,
Right.
and there is no in between. Ain't no,
in between.
let me try to figure out what I'm gonna do type thing. It's
one or the
you're
other.
either paying rent or you paying a mortgage, or you
Right.
own the house free and clear. But either way, don't pay attention to that, Doc. It's gonna confuse you.
No, I'm not. I'm,
Yeah, you
Doc,
setting them up for the
Ruby
other
getting,
show.
he's doing his thing.
Yeah,
He's doing his
that's
thing.
the
That's-
producer. But yeah, man, real estate investment is the way to go. Just to make money, make a great living, provide
Yeah.
an inheritance to your children's children. They're going to end up renting someone's home in the future, or owning a home, preferably. But it's information that you'll have to teach them.
Hey, Dre, can you
Mm-hmm.
explain how, how the boom, because in New York, What, do you understand
The real estate?
How did it happen? How did it?
Yeah, man.
Can you explain that
It's
before?
crazy you asked that. I had a meeting last week with some real estate investors that want to come to Trenton. They caught wind of one of our shows and was like, "Dre, I want to come. I want to come to Trenton. I want to buy some of these houses with you. I want to build with you." And I met with them last week, and they explained to me what was going on in Brooklyn with the gentrification.
Yeah.
Now, what happens with most urban areas is they're not going to stay urban for long.
No. But is there a way? Can it just from your expertise? Is there a way that we could? Not. I mean, it's not. I believe it's a way of
What's that?
empowering people to just want to buy in their and stay in their neighborhoods and build it up. Is there a way? Is there a way that we can?
I think by giving people real numbers and real information, that's what intrigued me about it, because I heard about it, and my father, like I said, he owned properties when I was a kid, and I used to go with him to collect rent, and being a child and collecting rent with your dad, I mean, that just took things to a whole nother level for my childhood, because it changed the way that I looked at money. You remember, I was a kid. I always had money.
You always
I don't care what it was. I always had money because that's how my dad raised me. He was like, listen, you're going to get an allowance. Plus you get, you come and help me on the houses. I give you a little bit extra.
Nice.
And when I grew up, it was just like, I had an ATM card from Core State Bank. I don't know if y'all remember Core State.
Yeah, I had Core State. No, what I'm saying is, like, is there a way we can motivate our young people? Because there goes
people are intrigued by numbers. So say the
numbers,
first house that I flipped, right? The first house that I flipped, I made a deal with someone, and I told them they had their house on the market for $14,000, and they asked me to come look at it, and I went to look at the house, and I immediately saw that the house could be worth what the market said it was worth, but because it was in an abandoned state, of course they were just willing to take whatever they could get for it. You know what I mean? So when I researched the market, it told me that this particular house could be worth $130,000.
Wow.
Rehab.
Right.
So when I saw those numbers, it motivated me, and it changed my perception about these abandoned houses. So I said, you know what? I called the guy up. I said, listen. I said, I got about $20,000, but what I want to do is, once your listing expired with the realtor that took me to see the house, I said, once your listing expired, if it doesn't sell, call me. I'll make you an offer that you wouldn't be able to refuse. So the listing expired. He called me, and I said, I'll give you $28,000 for your property, same property. I'll give you $28,000, but I need you to give me 3 months. And I said, sign the house over to me. I'll give you $28,000 in 3 months, and whatever I make over that is mine. And they were looking at the numbers, and they said, you gonna give me double of what I was trying to sell it to you for, because I was about to go lower. He was like, I was about to try to sell it to you lower. And so I'm looking at, all right, I got about $20,000 to spend on repairs. I don't want to spend, lower on buying the house, and then I can't finish the repairs.
Right.
So I said, well, I'm always thinking steps ahead, and I said, no. What I'll do is give me 3 months, and I'll give you a check for $28,000. But during those 3 months, I need the house signed over to me.
Right.
And then me and my guys, we're going to go in there and go to work.
Wow.
I said, you can trust me. I'm not trying to take your property from you. It ain't no scam, nothing like that. I said, I own a construction company. Me and my guys will come in here and do the work for free. Not for free, because it's going to be my house. I'm still buying it from you, but I'm paying you $28,000. You're just holding a note for me. Yeah, I mean, that allows me, no payments until 3 months. That's all it is. It was just the way that I wrote it up. So anyway, boom, me and my guys did the work. 3 months later, I sold the house for $130,000. Gave my man his $28,000, and me and my guys walked away. You know what I mean? With $100,000 profit.
So basically,
So
for the
in 3
sorry.
months, we made $100,000 profit.
And so in a nutshell, basically, like for a person that is listening and is like, they get confused, but like for the nutshell, if so, you got everything in your
Within reach.
within reach.
For
So
me.
if you get say that they have a son,
Right.
like, look, son, go to this class, learn this trade.
Right.
We can start. So you can actually have your kid, basically, or your son or your daughter, whatever. I mean, because you have women working with you too, right? So it's
I do have women working with
So
me.
it's like you
Yep.
can have your children learn this trade, and you can learn together with you, and then y'all can just go and buy houses and have property in your family forever.
Well, the beautiful thing about real estate
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
So the way that I train people on real estate is I tell them, if you have expenses, if you have bills, if you have whatever, you want a car, you want to buy a new house, you buy properties and you dedicate this particular property to take care of this particular expense. Right? And if you think that way, you can work for yourself. You know what I
For
mean?
yourself.
And teach your children to work for themselves.
Wow.
But you have to be willing to learn the information.
Gotta learn.
You gotta
Yeah, I
you
wanna
gotta
learn.
read. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the examples that I give in my book,
Yeah.
you know, are simple strategies. But if a person don't know it, you don't know it. Like we used to say, knowledge is power. Knowledge alone is not power.
You gotta apply it.
You have to apply it. So applied knowledge is actually power. So, you know, again, like I said, you can grab a copy of our book. Everybody is a real estate investor. Yes, even you. I teach these strategies basically to equip you with enough information to get started.
Right.
A lot of my guys, you know, when they come in, I tell them, listen, you know, travel some of the same roads that I travel. Learn as much about real estate as possible. Like this is just going to give you, you know, some fire under your tail to teach you different real estate industries to get in.
And they
Now,
doing it too,
yeah,
right?
Each one
all your
of
workers
these
are-
strategies that I teach from, you know, buying and flipping properties, buying and holding properties, which is basically holding a mortgage to the properties,
Right.
Buying and renting the properties,
Right.
wholesaling, buying the tax liens, like all of these strategies alone, if you just applied one to your life, it will change your life in general. I hopped in and I just happened to touch all of these industries because I kept extending my knowledge.
Right.
I kept learning more and more and more about these industries, and it's just something that I love doing. I got you, Miss Bennett. She says she need a book. All right, so that is 2.
That's Tanya Bennett.
No,
Oh,
no,
another
no,
Bennett.
no.
Oh,
Nicali.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a good associate.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'll get you a copy of it as well. Inbox me your information, and I'll get a book to you. So anyway, I would invest in real estate no matter what you decide to do. You can be a doctor, a lawyer. I got friends that have all kind of professions and different
judges.
professional careers, and they touch so many different areas. But real estate investment is one of the things that you know
Can't
they're
go wrong.
doing anyway. Outside of that, some of them own 5 and 6 houses, and that was their limit. You know what I mean? Like that's all they wanted to do. But they have a great asset base, and they're receiving a great income from it. And now I got some buddies that own 10, 15 properties that came in. I got some families that came in and invested together, and all they do is buy tax liens. You know what I mean? I got some people that come in and just they want to do wholesaling. You know what I mean? And that's what they focus on. Like, Trey, I got a guy down in Atlanta, one of my brothers. We grew up with him, but he started wholesaling properties.
Wow.
Right in Atlanta, man.
Dope.
Yeah, straight wholesaling the properties.
Yeah, because I see that's a movement down there too. There's a movement going on.
Oh man, it's a movement.
Jay,
Yeah, wherever we at, it's a movement. All we
I
got to
mean,
do is
you just
show
gotta
up.
show up.
Showtime, baby. Yeah, man.
Man. Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. I definitely appreciate you guys. You got something for us, Rob? Some
Yeah,
music?
I got. I'm gonna play a little something.
Yeah, what? Real quick, I know we got a show
yeah,
coming up.
We got
on-
a show
on
May 25th at the View Lounge.
at the View Lounge,
It's
Ewing,
gonna
New
be-
Jersey.
You in New Jersey, 7 to 10. It's gonna be you're gonna be the MC. We got
Yes, sir.
Carrie Carter and Mr. Sam Livingston is gonna be singing with the
Yes.
band, and then Andre gonna be talking, and we're gonna interview them, and
Yep.
we're gonna have a great time. Come out, great food. The food is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
so you're gonna enjoy yourself food wise, and you're gonna have a good music and some singing, and have a good time. It's a good vibe.
Yes.
Hopefully, might check and see if your cousins come again because they rock the house, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to. They,
Mark,
you guys be
they
on
were so
tour,
busy.
man.
Yeah, they on
If
tour.
I can get them there, I'm gonna show enough try.
Yeah, we gonna
man.
get a tour with them though. We gonna be on tour together.
Yeah, man. Well, what we're doing is essentially a tour.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
we're
we're just doing it on a smaller level.
So if you out there in Atlanta, Dallas, Texas, wherever y'all at listening, we
Yeah.
can come out there.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
come.
come.
We will come. Russia, wherever.
yeah.
Hawaii, come on out. Come on, we'll come out there. We'll bring the whole band and singers, and we'll come out and show, give you a great vibe. And then on June 9th, we'll be at Dubai Restaurant in Trenton.
Is that on New York Ave?
It's on New York Avenue,
Okay.
3 to 5. My amazing artist, she was on this show where we was on the Monk show. Essie will be
Essie,
singing.
yeah,
She's going to be... She gonna rock the house. She gonna tear it
she
up.
bring the soul,
She's
man.
bringing the soul and rock, and she
She just loves singing.
She loves to
man.
sing.
It's-
She loves it. It's part of her.
her energy is just amazing.
Yeah. Like she can sing anywhere. Like we and her went to the retirement home, and we played and something. She just had an amazing time. They loved her. Then she went back without me, and she went and she said it was such a humbling and amazing feeling to give back to the to the elderlies and to people that can't even remember like the next second. They're just, it was such an amazing, she said to her, and then I'll be playing at it's an after school program. So I'll be doing an after school program with these young kids that just to give them some music, let them run around, and there's some live music, some bass, and I might have a
easy,
drummer,
man.
and so inspire some musicians, just some because once you see something, you're like, oh, I want to do that.
Right.
I want to
right.
do that.
Wake,
So,
it awakens something
wake
inside
something
of
up.
you, man.
So I'm gonna do this song before Ruben kicks us out, and no, I'm just joking. Ruben,
Yeah,
he's
give us something,
he's
Rob.
changing the backgrounds
Logo.
on us. That mean we gotta go. Okay, we out. No, I'm joking. Just joking, Ruben. So I'm gonna play a couple. One because we got 4 minutes left. So play this one.
Yeah, we got a few minutes left. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. We will be back at it again this evening from 8 to 9. Thank you for tuning in to Urban Economics and Development on Hamilton Radio. On the internet, hamiltonradio.net. On the app, Hamilton Radio Channel 2. And on Facebook Live, Hamilton Radio. We will see you guys this evening. Rob is going to take us out with something cool for you.
Good life.
Vibe out to on this rainy day.
Okay, guys, gotta clear out.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks.
We will see you next Monday, 5 p.m. For our other audience on Facebook Live, we will see you guys in a few hours from 8 to 9. Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
blessed evening. Thanks, Rob. It's good stuff, brother. Good stuff, man. Yeah, man. You said the sun was coming out, huh?
It was coming out on it. I was riding. I was like, oh